How's it going, everybody? We are going to get started momentarily, and we're just gonna let some people filter in to the chat, and I will say hi. I'll be the first. There we go. Hi. So, hi there, Gary. Do you have any plans of showcasing the best portfolios of your community in a video in the future? Of my community? You mean like in Discord? You know, perhaps. Maybe that'll be an idea. What is up, David? Derek, hello. Unique bots, what is up, Ben? Maybe I'll make this a little bit larger. Yes, yes, yes. I have 2 glasses of water this time in case I run out. See, I became prepared. All right. It is hot. I'm hot right now. Probably has something to do with being in the hot tub about 30 minutes ago. All right. Gonna get started in a second. Hello, Robin. I'm tired too. I'm tired. We're gonna do like a couple site reviews, and we're gonna do it in a fun way, but mainly this stream is gonna be for something else. Not quite unique bots. Tomo, hello. Hello, Mr. Gowd, I'll call you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Introduce what we're doing today. Basically, I'm gonna be working on one of the unique interactive UI design tests that I'm developing as a part of the designcourse.com launch. All right, so let me show you one of the existing ones. Beta, design course, let's see. Actually, it's at designcourse.com. You can go here and try out some of these games right now yourself. I'm gonna paste the URL. It's free. It doesn't require an account. And I'm gonna be adding one of these to the free interactive tests game I'm gonna be releasing as a part of the launch, just to drum up anticipation, excitement for the course. And these are just ways to, if you haven't seen them yet, to hone in your ability to spot what constitutes good UI design. So like here's one of them. Like, what's wrong with this design? Is it white space, contrast, color, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And I would say typography is an issue. We have 2 different types here. And so it's going to show you the correct version. And you just have to choose the ones, you know, that are correct, and you get a point system. So if you get one wrong, you get a point taken away. So I'm going to be working on one of these examples today from scratch, from design conception in Figma all the way to the HTML, CSS, and using the system that JVS created, my coder and partner, to make it a reality here as an actual test that you can then take. All right. Also, as far as reviews, I know a lot of you are expecting me to do these review shows. I'm gonna do a couple, and we'll do one right now. And here's how it's gonna be fun. You have to be already in Discord for this to work. This is the negative space submissions channel. Right now, nobody can actually send a message because it's locked. The first person who sends a message, the very first entry for me to review their design, I'll do that, and then we'll get to the purpose of this live stream, which is to create one of these interactive tests. So I'm going to take the very first person who submits their work. Get ready, get set. I'm going to go over here to edit the channel. We're going to go to permissions, and let's see, I want to make sure. Send messages. There we go. Save changes. Very first person. Das1. Let me go back and edit this, go back to permissions, and now nobody can no longer send a message. Save it. All right, let's see. Let me make sure it's not some type of troll. Okay, it's a calendar. All right, not that exciting. Hey, Prasad, don't spam, bro. Don't spam. All right. Boy Scout Troop 150. First of all, that's kind of strange. I can't barely read that. The navigation itself, I would style these differently. I actually released a video last week where I would suggest style the sub nav items a little bit differently from the primary nav, because right now they're exactly the same. So maybe just don't make them bold. That's one way to create a visual hierarchy between the two different types of navigations. Looking at this, the calendar actually seems pretty decent. There's no major issues. You can clearly see these. These should contrast well enough. They're not black, but I'm sure they would be fine. Actually, we can check using the yep, 4.23, although you might want to get to 4.5 actually. So just increase that a little bit to get to 4.5. The size of these, a little bit small on the type. I'm not exactly sure what size the type is here. Where is it mentioned type? I know usually sometimes it would show that the actual font size. Might want to beef those up just a tad bit. Nonetheless, icons look good. This is actually cool. I like the footer. I like that a lot. Yeah, pretty solid. We're not going to bother with a rating, so let's go ahead and get started with the actual UI design test that I want to come up with. So I already have an idea of the type of UI component we're going to do for this test. By the way, people, my goal for this, once this releases, to get this little challenge game, I want it to go viral. I know everybody says that, but I really want it to get to be a big product on Product Hunt. So we'll talk about that more in the future, because I will need help from you guys, the community. All right, so what I'm gonna do is you know how you visit a website and in the lower right corner, maybe this little component chat thing pops up and it'll allow you to initiate a conversation, or it will allow you to like rate this page or give feedback. I think we're gonna do something like that for this test. So what I do here first, in order to get an idea before I hop into the HTML and CSS, is design it in Figma. That way, I'm not going in blind. You should always do that for any UI design. So let's go ahead, and now the first determination I need to make is, do I want to make this like a light color scheme or a dark color scheme? So, and I've been going back and forth between the two for these tests just to make it different. I think maybe we'll use a very, let's see, let's go dark on this, and no, let's go light. See, as obviously I have no clue what I want to do. And maybe we'll add a little bit of color into it. Maybe something like this. Right around there. All right, so now, see how this doesn't contrast well? At least Figma, unlike Adobe XD, gives you the ability to change this background color. So that way I can just put it over here. I can even add color, like around the same color if I want. There we go. I like that. All right, so now we're gonna design one of those little chap lips. All right, so, and don't worry, I will do that a couple more times where I do review, like maybe 2 more reviews in that fun, exciting manner where you have to try to spam. So I'll do the next one in like 15 minutes or something. So a chap lip in the context of a website or like a website interface, usually it's obviously inside of a container or like a card, so to speak. So let's create that card. And again, it's not going to be very big. It's just a small little component, essentially, that would like kind of fall right here. In fact, we can just kind of put it right there anyhow. And so the background currently, like we said, has this color right here, very light bluish, aqua blue. So if I make this color, the same exact color, and then we add shade, which means dragging that down to add darkness, or tint, which means making it lighter. That's 2 different ways that we can create the container background. So for instance, if we darken it up, we're in the same exact hue. We haven't changed this slider down here. We can create a nice, a secondary color for this background. We could go this way, or let me duplicate this. What the hell? There. Oh, it's duplicating the fill. That's why. I hate when Figma does that. Or we could go lighter. So let's get the background color again, and we can go even, actually white would make most sense here. So we have 2 options. We can go darker or lighter. I think I like the lighter approach. So let's just stick with the lighter approach. there's not a lot of contrast between this panel right here and the background, right? I mean, there is some, but if you want to increase it, you have two options. The first option is you can go ahead and add like a drop shadow to create separation. And then the other option is to just decrease just add shade to this hue in the background. I'm probably going to go that option instead of adding a drop shadow. You can do the drop shadow, but you have to do it correctly. So what I'll do is just take this, take a fill, and very slightly add darkness. There we go. So I think it's a very light panel. It will still separate well and it will work. All right. Next up, I kind of want to do a rounded corner approach for this. And you know, the width and height, all this stuff might change. So what type of container is this going to be? Let's do something about, it's a pop-up of some sort. Let's just do like something where it initiates a chat. This is all for getting in contact with the website company or whoever owns this particular product. I don't like putting this on the side right now. I'm just going to put this smack dab in the middle so we can focus on it a little bit easier. So let's just get some type out and then play around with it. So this will be chat with us. Okay. And this might end up being a smaller container anyhow. Let's do Nunito. Let's make this bold. And let's make it larger. So what is the size? We're at 17. It's still pretty small. We can probably go up to 19 or 20. And you don't want this sort of pop-up to be real large excessively, so it overlaps the rest of the website content. So we have to think about that. All right, chat with us. Maybe we'll work in a chat icon somewhere. So let's go to plugins in Iconify, and we'll type in chat once it loads. Actually, I did. Well, let's see what we have here. Support. Nah, let's just do the chat ones. Kind of like, I like this. I like that. Let's drag that in. All right, so now we could probably put it right here to the left. And I'll think about colors and stuff after here. Chat with us. And then we'll do a paragraph underneath. And good visual hierarchy, we want to separate it from the title, so we're going to put it regular. And we'll go down maybe to like 16 or 17. Let's do 16. And let's just, I don't want to put Lorem Ipsum, let's use real text for this. I'll put something like, need help, not sure which solution is right for you. Chat with us now, and we'll help you out. There. Okay, that works. Again, alignment. You want to make sure things are aligned, so we can drag out our rollers here. The very top element, this icon right here is establishing a vertical alignment column essentially, and we want to make sure things are aligned up real well and are consistent. So consistent amount of white space from here to here. And you can hold Alt, by the way, and check that out. So right here it says 23 versus 31 over here. So we need to consider that and make the adjustment as necessary. First, is this a good amount of white space? So it helps to hide these rollers, Shift R to hide them, and determine, do I like that amount of white space? I might want to move it in just a tad bit. So we're going to move it in and down with my keyboard arrows. And now we can check out, if we go back to Shift R, we'll move this over, Shift R, oops, Alt rather, 28 and then 26. So we could just like pull this out. 28 and 28. Now we're evened up with good white space, consistent white space in good alignment. All right, so Shift R. Now I may change up the type here and the color and all that stuff. And now let's have a real good call to action, a button that will allow them to launch the chat window. This might actually be a little bit too wide. We can adjust it. So let's do a button here. All right, so we'll do a button. Let's just take this. Chat now. And I think I want to make it smaller, but we'll keep it bold. So we'll go 16. And we'll make a nice button. Here we go. Let's wrap it in a container. We'll put it underneath. And let's use the same hue back here, but we're going to really add more of the hue and have less tint or brightness, so to speak. So we'll grab this color and yeah, somewhere right there probably works well. Let's see. Let's do some rounded corners here. These are rounded, so keeping these rounded as well works. Although I will say, some people will, like, if this is 11, this is the 11 for the roundness, we should have put 11 here. It just doesn't look right. So if I show you that, it just, to my opinion, doesn't look good. So we can reduce the amount of roundness, and I think that looks good. All right, so one thing we have to consider here is the size of the button, and also making sure, because this is a colored button, that the foreground text contrasts enough. And that's a decision. This is kind of like, this is a little bit of a brighter. So if we tried to make this white, it may not pass, it may not get to the necessary either 3:1 or 4.5:1 contrast ratio. So let's check it. We'll go to our plugins. We'll select both of these, right click outside of here, sorry. So we right click, we go to plugins, we check stark and check contrast. So this is 11.15:1. So this contrasts really well. If we were to make this white, it would not contrast enough. 1.88, definitely not good. So if you wanted to use white, we would have to take this background and we would have to drop it down. Now this actually might work. 3.27. So 3:1 large text. What is constituted as being large text? So this passes only if your font is at least 18.66 pixels with a font weight of, or wait, with bold weight or 24 pixels. So if we look at our type, it's 16. So we would have to also make this larger. 18.6. And the font weight is bold. And there we go. We could use a white color text if we satisfied this. So I think we're just going to stick with that, because we are pretty much at the almost at the minimum in terms of contrast here. And this works. So you have options in terms of whether or not you're actually, here's the thing though. One thing I don't like about this is the chat with us is about 20, and then this is almost 20, this type. And so they kind of just compete with each other. There's an issue of visual hierarchy there. So I think what I want to do, we're going to go back to the other idea where it's smaller, but we're just going to use a lighter background with black text. There we go. And so this text doesn't even have to be black, by the way, because remember it was 11.6. If we take the eyedropper and we come over here and we make it darker like this, we could still stick in the same hue, and it's not necessarily, 100% black. I think I'll go right here. I know this is going to pass. This would be good enough anyway. So chat now. Maybe we can work in, well, we could work in an icon, but let's just keep it simple. I don't want this to last forever, the stream, because we're going to make this into HTML and CSS. Even though this is, at this point in time, it's fairly simple. We can also see if maybe we want to use a different color for this. This is still going to contrast well enough with the background. So I just, instead of making it black, I just made it a very shaded and with some tone, which is adding gray into the hue. It still works well. So this is obviously a very simple little chat blip. And maybe we can also, we'll add a little down icon with the pen tool, not an icon, but a little down graphic like this. We'll see if I can get that to work easily when we get to the CSS portion. This will just be an SVG. All right, so kind of like that. It's simple. Yeah, there's no major issues as far as I can tell. I think it'll work well. There. And then obviously, yeah, and I actually may end up, when I get to the HTML CSS portion, which is going to be like almost now, I'll probably make it a little bit less wide because it doesn't really need to be that wide. But it's still pretty good right there. All right, so and then what we'll do is we'll break it for the UI design test in some manner, and then we'll turn it into an interactive test. All right, so let us go ahead now and get started. Oh, let's do an actual UI design, or let's do a review. We'll play that little game. So if you want me to review, get ready, get inside of the Discord. The first person to submit after I unlock it, I'll go ahead and do a review real quick of their UI design. So I'm gonna go into here, edit channel, permissions. We will, all right, save, go. No, Dash, you don't get to go twice. Oh, Bunny's there, okay, good job. Let's go to permissions and we will, oh, not that. Oop, there we go, save changes. I'm sorry, it was the first person, I'm not gonna do them in order. Aria, you're gonna have to, I'm gonna do this one more time. You're gonna have to be there very quick. All right, here we go, Bunny. All right, let's see, landing page. All right, pretty nice search bar. Let's see here. Do more with the landing kit. All right, so I think your leading or your line height is off here. And then also with these high contrast elements here going behind and also moving with your subhead, makes it a little bit hard to read and it's cluttered. So what I would rather see is something like, hopefully you did this in such a way that would make it easy for me to adjust it. We have a BR there. This is bold. I'm not sure, let me see. No, that's not gonna work. Oh wait, yeah, it will. Let's do 0.5, 0.3. That's good right there. Negative 0.7 M units. And then this element right here, let's see, what did you do? Hopefully you didn't, okay, that's all good. So line height could be set at like, let's see what it is. I'm just gonna take a guess right now. That's a lot better. If I take this whole section real quickly and like move it, oh, those little floating elements are a part of that section. Okay, well, can't do that. I just don't like this right here behind it, so I would remove that section. Also, like with this color right here being so close to this, the call to action kind of gets lost as well. So, you know, I would remove this, and that, and it would greatly simplify this landing page. All right, so I'm not going to bother going through any more of these because I want to keep on working. Overall, pretty solid. All right, let us continue. All right. The Discord server is linked in the YouTube description below. All right, let's rock. All right, so let's go to beta.designcourse.com admin. None of you, of course, can access this, rightfully so. I'm going to create a new test module, and this is going to be called user support pop-up. User support pop-up for the slug. Create new module. We're going to add it to the list. You know what? You know what? I think let's just do this live. Yeah, screw it. We'll go on to the other one. Let me see. All right. I'll just do this on the live. You guys will be able to look at the actual test as I'm developing it. So we're going to add this one here. User support pop-up. Create new module. Add it to the list. It's going to be messed up, obviously, because it's not yet created. Save project. We're going to edit it. And we're going to go to type as a test. So you can see there's 4 different module types: video, course, test, a challenge. We're going to save that and then open up the editor and create the markup. All right, so now if you go back to the UI test game, you're going to see this empty test thing here, which I need to modify in a second. If I go back, there we go, save it. All right, so now we can see if we refresh this, and you guys can all go to this URL right here, and you can take the existing tests right here, and then this one's the one that's in development. Obviously nothing there yet. All right, so let's go back and let us, open the editor, and let's revert back to here. So what do we need for the HTML in order to achieve this? Let's think here. So we have this container, but we have this thing right here. I think what we'll do is have an overall container that holds both this element and this element. So let's just call that, let's give her HTML div class. No, let's just do section. Section class equals pop-up. Actually, let's not name it pop-up because I don't want it interfering with other potential classes. So we'll just call this chat pop. There we go. I don't think JVS named anything, or the other person who was working on the HTML named anything called chat pop. So then we're going to have a div class of chat container. And then we're just going to put that SVG element. So I can right click this, copy as SVG, come down here and paste it. And now we can see in my little preview thing, it is right there. And we'll give this a class of triangle. All right, so let's just go ahead and save that. And obviously now if you refresh this, you're gonna see a single triangle in the center. Silly looking. All right, so what we'll do now is go to CSS. So that's called chat pop. Before I do that, I want to change the background color of this section and this little card to what's found here, so in Figma. So what I'll do is we'll take this, copy that, and it's called module, what was it called? Module test background, I think. And then I can do background. Oops. Let's save that. It doesn't show it here because we haven't yet added that new class, but here it is here. Okay, so then we need to take this and change that as well. Let me get over here in the inspector. Damn it, stop doing that, Gary. All right, so now what I'll do is take the background and just tone it or shade it down a bit. All right, that's good. And then make the color black for the font color. So now I'll do module test card background and then color black. Save it, and then now we have to do the link there too apparently. So module test card A, color black. Refresh it. We have to do the hover too. Dang it. Actually, what I can do is just add this. So module a hover. Shoot. There we go. Now we'll refresh. There we go. Okay. So now we can start rocking this and getting this design going. So what was the HTML? We have chat pop. All right. So chat pop. All right, so chat pop is going to have, let's see here, those two elements directly inside of it. So I think what I'll do is position relative, and then inside of it, we have our SVG triangle, so our class triangle and chat container. Triangle, we're gonna take and do position absolute. What am I doing? Chat pop triangle. And then we'll do bottom 0, right 0. All right, so we need to give this a width. Let's just do like 20 M units. And then we're also gonna take our chat pop. What was the other one called? Chat container. And we're going to say background white. The height, well, let's get the content in here first, and that will give us some height by default. So what do we need to put in? We have to put in, I think I'll do a div that holds both this and this, and then a paragraph, and then our call to action. All right, so let's do that. We'll come back here. We'll do a div class equals chat header. We have an icon, which is going to be SVG. Let's go ahead and grab that real quick. Copy as SVG. And let's get that structured well. And then also a like a H, we'll just do it H4 or something. Chat with us. All right. And this will be a Flexbox chat header will be. And then underneath that, we'll put in the paragraph. Let me go copy this. And we'll paste it in. And then finally the call to action, which just could be an A element. So we don't want to put href here because it screws up the system. So we're just going to do class equals CTA for call to action. And what was that call to action? Text chat now. Okay, so chat now. And that's all the HTML. Sweet. All right, so now if we save this and refresh, this is what it looks like. The color needs to be set explicitly as black. So let's go to our CSS. Chat pop is going to be color black, but our paragraph isn't black if you recall correctly. But now we can at least see it. All right, so let's get this working. Now the one reason we don't see the icon is because this element right here is taking up 100% of the height. So we can just reduce the height in a few different ways. I'll experiment with that once we get other stuff worked out here. So what we'll do now is, let's see, we'll take this, and the padding, the lack of padding is killing me, by the way. So let's do that. Padding. Oops, no, that's not it. It's inside chat container. There we go. Padding 2M. Is 2M too much? Well, technically, here's a little trick. You can figure out how much M units by doing a little bit of a calculation. So 28 what you do is you take the default font size that's on a browser, which is 16. You take 28 divided by 16 equals 1.75 M units. So we'll do 1.75, and then we'll have something that more correlates to the actual UI design itself in terms of spacing. Let's do this Flexbox thing up here just to align those to the left of each other. So what is that called? Chat header. So chat pop, chat header. I have to add this initial chat pop to the selector because we only want this stuff to affect this little thing and not the rest of the elements. So that's why I'm doing that, like the rest of the user interface rather, because I did that before and it messed up the actual user interface of these test game. So what we'll do is display flex. Did I rename that something? Oh, it's chat hyphen header. Chat hyphen header. There we go. So now they're aligned to the left of each other. What happens if we just do a gap of 1M? All right, so we'll do like 0.7M. We need to do chat pop H4, font size 1.6 rem maybe, and font weight bold. That's too big. One of the things that always screws me up is there a nope, there's no default margin or padding added onto these. Is it perhaps the line height that throws it off, or is it just the icon? Yeah, it's the line height. So if we put, like, if I just experiment, you know what? Maybe the solution to getting these lined up correctly is not by adjusting the line height, but it's by centering. See, like that works, but maybe the solution is to center the elements in the Flexbox container. Well, we'll leave it like this for now because it does work and it is aligned correctly. Now, right now it's not using the Nuneato font, but that's the default font of our user interface. So if I refresh this, we do have a different font right here, which actually it looks like it's off a little bit. What is the, I always forget it, for Flexbox, what is the property and value for vertically centering? I always forget that it's either align content or justify content. Align items center. Oh, it's items. That's right. Okay. Align item centers. All right. So what we can do is just get rid of this, and then on chat header, align items center. All right. We'll see what that does in the result here. Yep. Perfect. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much. Now let's do the rounded borders. So. That's on chat container. Border radius 0.5 M. Maybe we go a little bit larger. All right, now we can see that issue down there. Let's fix that now, the triangle. So obviously the height of chat container is consuming all of this. So if we want to reduce the height so that we can see this element, I think we have a few options actually. What we can do is we could take our triangle and we could just take bottom. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Yeah, just put a negative like 2 M units. There we go. And if we don't want it to stick out so much, we can just do like negative 1.5 instead of 2, and that works. Sweet. All right, so now let's get some separation here, some white space between these elements. So we're going to take our chat pop rather, and we're going to put what is that paragraph called? It's not called anything. I think it's the only paragraph we're using, so it's fine. We'll put paragraph margin. 2 EM is way too much. 1 EM is better. Probably put like 1.5 M units at the bottom though. And now we're going to work on the Actually, no. Wait, let's get this specific color for the font, which is right here. It's not black. Almost black. Almost looks like it. Color is going to be here. There we go. Let's save it. Check it out, what it looks like so far. Looking pretty solid. Let's compare it. Go back and forth. Yeah, looking like exactly the same practically. Now let's get the call to action. I think it was just a class called CTA, if I recall that correctly. So it is. We'll do chat pop a CTA, and that's going to be a background of a value I don't yet know. Let's get that. Copy. As you can see, this is a lot of work just for one test. I've probably made like 25 of them so far. They usually take like an hour each one. Padding is going to be 0.5 M units and then maybe like 1 M units. Let's push this down further. So let's try 2.5. That's looking good. Border radius, 0.3 M units. That's looking good. It's font weight bold as well, I think. And it's also not black. All right. The font size here compared to this, let's do color. Paste that in. All right, so let's save this. Let's refresh. That's looking pretty solid. What does everybody think so far? I think this is looking pretty good and might be the final design here. Let's do a hover state, and also let's get rid of this little draggy icon thing here. So let's take our chat pop and just put cursor default, and then also this is cursor pointer, and let's do a hover state. Chat pop a CTA hover, and what I like to do is just to we'll lighten it. That way we don't create contrast issues on the hover state. So what we can do is come here, and we'll just take this and just push it up slightly. You don't want to go too much. I'm going to grab that and come here, say color, save it, test that. Oh God, background rather, not color. There we go. It's almost too much of a change, but it's fine. No, it's not. Hold on a second. I don't want such a significant change on hover. So what I'll do is just slightly, there we go. There we go, that's better. So if we refresh in here, awesome. All right, let's do another review before we construct the actual test. 43 minutes already, unreal. All right, so if you want me to do the review, here we go. You have to be the first person. I'm about to unlock it in 1 second. Here we go. Permissions, send message, go. I'm not even gonna look to see who did it. I'm just gonna wait. All right, locking. Hopefully somebody sent something. Oh, was it David? Yeah, it was David Sling. Okay, let's check it out. All right, bro, you got some issues here. All right. First issue that I noticed right off the bat. Alignment. So this right here, let me just take this in real quick. This right here suffers from an alignment issue. So if I just come over here and paste that, and I bring in our rulers, you have a column that's established right here because it's the first high contrast element in your user interface, and it's the logo, and that's usually the case. When you offset this over here to the left and then have another one right here and then another one right here, you're creating inconsistency. It doesn't flow well. So what you would do ideally is, and also notice there's an incorrect amount of, or inconsistent amount of white space. So you have over here in your logo, you have all this space right here, and we can identify it like this. And then if I duplicate that and push it over here, we have all this amount of little space. It's not equal. So it throws off the alignment and the flow and the consistency of the UI. What you want, and what I would do in this case, is push out David right here to whatever this distance away from the edge is. So it would be pushed right here, and then the part where it says, hey, I'm David, blah, 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 put that right here, or really indent it, and don't just indent it a little bit. If you're gonna make different changes to your alignment, it needs to be big and not just small changes, because then it looks off and not right. So next up is the size of this. Obviously, I'm dealing on a 4K resolution that's almost maximized browser. It's more acceptable what you have here, but when you get out here, it's still too small. There's still too much white space here. So I would work on your ad copy, like for your headline and your sub headline, and try to fill it out a little bit more and make it larger. I would get something that's probably a little bit more unique over here than just this little icon. You have a lot of space to use. I would use it. Also, your call to action, see GitHub profile, a little bit lacking. It doesn't stand out very much. So the call to action is lacking. All right, so that's enough for that. Hopefully you found that helpful. And let's construct the actual test. So the way this works is we can add all the default choices, and these are all just UI design fundamentals like white space, contrast, color, typography, scale, alignment, and visual hierarchy. And I can remove these, I can add custom ones, and what we need to do in order to make this an interactive test to help people become better UI designers is break this somehow. We want to make this look off. So I could probably come here, and let me delete that, and throw these away for a second. And I'll create a what the hell happened? What happened here? Oh, it literally put that image in there. Well, that's annoying. Do I have my color up? That's why I should have added it to my colors over here. I didn't anticipate having to do that. Well, all I have to do is I jacked my button up over there, copy that color code and just paste it there. Okay, so let's break this somehow. Duplicate. Let's get rid of our things. All right, so what should I break here? I'm thinking, I mean, there's many things I could break. Maybe we'll make the call to action button text too small. So that's one of the things that we could break. Like that's like objectively just too small in my opinion. It's 11 and it's just yeah. So we'll screw up scale. All right. So what we'll do is we'll take scale and we're going to edit choice. We're going to say this is a correct answer, and a custom message I'll put is the font size of the call to action text was too small. All right, I think that's fine. Explanation, we'll save it, and then we go into the editor and we screw it up. I'm gonna put a comment here. It says fixes. By the way, we'll do one more review before we're done. And what we'll do is, let's see, it's in here. So we're going to transition font size for 0.6 seconds. And then font size will be, let's try like 0.75 em units. Yeah, so that's like way too small, objectively speaking. So now we're gonna add scale as a class, chatpop ACTA, and then we're going to correct it. Font size, I think it was just 1M. So what happens if the way the system works is if somebody clicks on that radio button that says, it's not a radio button, it's a checkbox, that says scale, the system adds on a scale class to this selector, and then it will animate and change it to the correct value. So now if I save this, I refresh, and I choose, notice how small it is, and I choose scale, there we go. It now animates it into the correct position. But let's screw something else up. Oh my God. Can I just like, I want to mute this person. Put him in a timeout. You gotta sit back, bro. All right. Actually, can I just delete all those? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so now, what else can we screw up about this? I know, contrast. We'll take this icon and make it way too low of contrast. So if I double click into it, I need to get access to the colors, I think. Can I do it right here? Yeah. Something like that. Although it's not like a really important element. It's not an icon that a person has to be able to click, so maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe we'll do color. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's do color instead. So what we'll do is we'll turn it into a color that's just really bad. It doesn't really work well, like that. It looks like crap. All right, so we'll do that. So how we change the SVG color? So what we'll do is we'll come back here to, let's see where the color is specified. It says fill, stroke. Oh, these are all strokes, I think. Yeah. Am I able to change the stroke in the CSS? Can't remember. I don't like never have done that. Let me do a test. So let's take, what is the SVG called? Triangle. No, it's not. Let's give ourselves a class equals, we'll call this chat blip. Let's just call it blip. Yeah, are you able to change the stroke property in CSS? I don't even know. This is going to be chat pop, blip. I think we have to get into the actual nested elements of path. So we'll put path, and then we'll put in stroke, and then I'll just put red. Yeah, okay. That works. So we'll just make it this. Oh wait, no. Yeah. This ugly color. Yeah, it looks like crap. So color will be one of the things that's wrong. So we add the color class, and then we'll fix it up, of course, by making it black. I think that's what it was. Color. Let me just copy this real quick. And we'll transition to color as well. So we'll do transition, stroke, 0.6 seconds. We'll go back to the options. Color will be one of the options. It's correct. The chat icon. The chat icon color did not complement the other colors found in the design. All right, that's fine. I think that's a good one to say. Let's save it. Let's add a choice just to try to trip people up. Nothing is wrong, which that's not correct. There are a few things wrong, and we'll save that. And now there is also a contrast issue. If I refresh this, there's a contrast issue here. So what I can do is remove contrast, because you could say color and contrast are an issue. But if I select one, it fixes the other. So that's why I'm just going to remove contrast as an option. So we're going to remove that, and then we'll hit save. So here is the final test. So color is wrong. There we go. It fixes it. And then also scale. Sweet. That is it. We have yet another test. 55 minutes. Man, I timed that perfectly. Unreal. Okay, so let's do one more final user review. By the way, everybody, if you have not yet put in your email address to be notified when this course launches, do so. We're going to be doing a pre-sale as well, which means potentially like in a month's time, you can actually join and take the course. And if you haven't seen the curriculum yet, this is what I have so far. You can't access this part, but I can show you it. There's a lot here so far. So these are all the tests, or not tests, but all the videos, the tests, the challenges where I grade and review and actually tweak your design that you submit via Figma. Look at all these. It's coming together. I'd say we're probably about 30% done. And by the time we do a pre-launch, I'll probably be closer to 60% or so. All right. Cannot wait. Let's do one of those, one final review. So get ready. If you want me to review your design, I'm going to put a little note here. I'm going to unlock the channel, permissions, and go. Save changes. Oh, Kong got it first. That was very close. So close. Sweet. Oh no, make those both. Winterain said, thanks to you and Kevin Powell on YouTube and Scrum. I landed my first web dev job in April. That's awesome. Are you working remote? Are you working on location? Let me know. I'm kind of interested, curious. Another person asked, how much will the course be? So I've actually I hired a consultant for an hour yesterday to speak with that exact topic, like what should I price my course at? Because I've never been good at pricing, and one of the things that a lot of people who teach courses on the internet, because of the Udemy culture where you give away stuff for like $10, I'm not doing that. It's going to be more, but it's going to be a hell of a lot more worth it, because this isn't just a video course. It's all these other things. And then I'm going to have two different tiers. One where you can just take the course. You'll be able to take the challenges, but they won't be reviewed by me or anybody else. And that's going to be a cheaper one, but that will still probably be, I don't want to throw numbers out because it's not solidified yet, but you'll be able to buy the whole thing and access all that except for those parts. The user review or my reviews, because there's going to be like 13 reviews. It's going to take me an hour to 2 hours per person if they complete the whole thing. I'm going to say at least $149. Now I am going to be doing parity pricing too, so you have to factor that in. That'll make it cheaper in that regard. It could be $149 to $199, and then if you want me to actually critique your work and you know make you a lot better. It's going to probably be close to double what are the other prices. So that's just how I have that going. Let's go ahead here and check this out. All right. I'll answer those questions in a second. Let me do this review. So what I'm thinking here suffers the first thing that I think is the biggest issue. It's clutter. You have too many things occurring here with this illustration here and that illustration over there, and it's just not balanced well. I think it needs to be simplified. So what I would do, get rid of this, and then keep this one, and maybe kind of push it up and to the left a little bit, and then that way you can take this, probably put it here on this column right here, and it would greatly simplify things. I think it's just a little bit too busy. Outside of that, your separation here is pretty good because you do have a subheading label, like a label right here, and then the heading and then the subheading. I would probably want to separate those out more visually in a way. So let me show you one way you can do that. There's a lot of ways. I'll just show you one. So what we can do is say, we can give this a background. So like, let's just do black. We'll give it a little bit of padding of like 0.5 em units, maybe not that much, 0.2 em units, and then like 0.4 em units on the left and right. Font size, we're gonna scale that down a little bit more. So like, I'm not sure what it is now. I'm just gonna throw something out. 1em, 0.8 em. All right, margin bottom, maybe about 1.1 em. All right, margin bottom is not working. Oh, you're using the font tag. Does anybody still use the font tag in HTML? Apparently they do. I would just push it down just slightly from where it's at, a little bit more white space, not much. And now we've kind of created a lot more of a separation between these elements, these three elements, typographically. Also, no more in contract us. You need to emphasize one of those over the others, all right? So it looks like based on your branding, you have orange and blue. I would bring one of those colors in. Oh crap, what happened there? I hit the wrong thing. I would bring some of those colors in from this background. So like background, I'm just gonna put blue. Wait, that's not working. What the hell? What's going on here? Where is that background color set? Well, there's something funky happening. Either way, take the background color, maybe make it blue or the orange, and then obviously you might have to change your button text on top of that. Don't center these buttons. These are both left aligned. This should be left aligned as well. It's gonna help structure your layout better. This section is probably the best section so far that I've seen. Right here is done well. This orange outline doesn't contrast well with this gray. I would get rid of it. Also, a medium gray on a panel like this, like a card, never really works out well. What you can do instead is probably take this. Don't worry, I'm about to sum this up. You know what? I don't know oh, here's the border color. Why do we have so many border colors? What is happening here? Now it's black? What the heck? I don't understand. Maybe some type of system was used, some type of content, like a CMS or some type of designer system, and it's just throwing stuff off big time. It's like a lot of unnecessary rule sets, it looks like. Well, I could just do border none. There we go. Background, white. There we go. Increase the padding a bit. That, in my opinion, looks a little bit better. This has like I like this color right here. Maybe we can make it just a shade darker. There we go. Yeah, it's made with some type of builder. All right, well, that's enough feedback. I could probably go on. Either way, good stuff. Thanks for everybody for attending. Oh, did that person answer me? Remote. Oh, that's cool. Yep. That's the way to go. I would die if I had to to walk into an office every day. I've never had a job like that. I've always just either freelanced or done what I've done now. Yeah, I would become a raging alcoholic, probably. Just drown my sorrows. Just not to say that like working for somebody and walking into a job is like a horrible thing. Just for me personally, I've never done it, and I'm like 37, 38 here very shortly. All right, awesome. Okay, so very shortly, yeah, a new video will be coming up either this Monday or Tuesday. And just going to keep on chugging away at trying to get this service launched. I think it's going to be awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up, and I will see you soon. I was throwing a $500 super chat. Well, you know what? If that's true, you can hit me up on Discord, and we'll make it work. All right. I will see you all soon.